So my dissertation that I'm currently working on is iconoclasm during the English Civil War. So what I'm going to be talking about is what is iconoclasm in a sense. We need to understand the religious conflict prior to the Civil War. We're also going to be talking about Charles I and the Puritan, particularly Oliver Cromwell, and highlighting key figure, which is William Laud, and what happens next, and what my dissertation covers in. Now, what is iconoclasm? So iconoclasm, in a sense, is a recurring impulse to break or destroy religious images for political reasons. For those who don't quite know what the Civil War is a particular period that doesn't really get understood or not particularly studied. So Charles I, who you can see on your right-hand side, very key figure, the way he's standing. He was king from 1600 to 1649, and he was Anglican. His wife, Helen Maria, who was from 1609 to 1669 in France, was Catholic. In Europe at this time, war was raging across Europe. And Charles I's government, a vast majority, was Protestant, like this man who you can see, Oliver Cromwell. But Charles I's marriage was deeply opposed. He believed in the divine right of kings. He believed he was the sole king. He didn't need to answer to anybody. And this ideology was completely opposed by government. Governments wanted to have a lot more say to how the country was going to be ruled. And there was this huge, deep divisions on the religious practice, especially in cathedrals and churches. So what was Charles I's idealistic church and cathedral? Very ornate ceremonies and rituals. This is Ely Cathedral. If you look right in central pier, it's very highly decorated. He believed in the hierarchy of bishops and priests, and this caused major outrage with Protestants. The extreme Protestants want just a simple, pure worship without this nonsense, and these were known as Puritans. Puritan church had lecturers and preachers. They have a personal relationship with God. However, their church was boring. No religious images, no choir music. These seem to be associated with Roman Catholicism. They even apparently cancelled or banned Easter and Christmas. The key figure in the William and Charles I's church and who made all those changes were William Laud. Now, William Laud was made Archbishop of Canterbury in 1633. He was Protestant and strongly opposed Puritan beliefs. He favoured Anglican worship. He founded Laicism in 1630s, which means he made changes in the church like bringing back stained glass windows, religious icons, and railed altars. And because of this importance of railed altars, Fincham says it was accepted as wise intentions of religious causes to cause political crisis in the 1640s. And then led to the Civil War in 1642. So now we can establish that one of the main reasons for this was because of religion, and the church reform being a major factor to play. Charles I was actually executed in 1649. He was the only king in British history to be executed, and William Laud, he followed earlier in 1644. There were three civil wars. First, 1642 to 1646. We had the second in 1648 to 1649, which ended with Charles I's execution, and a third from 1649 to 1651. In the conflict that followed, proportionally more lives were lost than the First World War during these three civil wars. Not only battlefields affected those in the battlefields, but also cities and cathedrals also saw the forefront of destruction. So what happened next? This is my dissertation that I'm currently working on. So archaeology into Civil War tends to focus on the battlefields, the sieges and fortifications. We know that iconoclasm occurred during this period, and from eyewitness accounts, pamphlets, has never been fully investigated. There has been some potential work into this and academic and investigated into iconoclasm in the Civil War, but also identifying deliberate or careful iconoclasm. However, any investigations into iconoclasm in cathedrals, combining these three, combining archaeological, academic and archival, has never been done before. So what I'm going to be talking about, so I'm actually going to be looking into two case studies. I'm looking at Durham and Peterborough. So Peterborough, I live very near to Peterborough. So Peterborough was a royalist town, had royalist sympathies. Now this memorial on your left was for the All Memorial. Now the All Memorial was of the family who had sympathies with the royalist family. So this was attacked in 1641 when Charles I, Oliver Cromwell, was from East Anglia, he was from Huntingdon, so he wanted East Anglia for himself. So when he knew that Charles I was living in that area, he had to get there very quick as possible. So he destroyed Peterborough Cathedral and destroying these memorials, the statues, stained glass windows. You've seen signs of iconoclasm in a minute. Durham Cathedral, obviously I study there, I work there as well. Durham Cathedral is very interesting. Now, we know Durham Cathedral was not actually attacked either by prisoner, was not attacked by Puritan or royalist, but actually was attacked by prisoners of war. Now, there was a major battle in 1650 called the Battle of Dunbar, and the prisoners from Dunbar walked all the way from Dunbar all the way down to Durham, and they were imprisoned in Durham Cathedral. Half of them died, they were buried outside the Palace Green, and they were later found in 2013 as in a mass grave. Now, this clock here, so this is a medieval clock, and this actually on top here is a thistle. There's a little thistle, which is a sign of Scotland. The prisoners did not attack that, because obviously they need to make fire to keep themselves warm, because obviously in the cathedral, everything would have been stripped. So they would have had nothing. And you can see signs of fires as you walk around the cathedral here. So we know where you can map out where these fires were. But also in 1649, we know the Scottish also attacked Durham Cathedral. And this is the Neville tomb. And you can see all alongside the tomb are what the heads look like they've been chopped off. And they've got their hands as well. The hands are being cut. The torso is just the torso. The head had been removed. So you kind of get signs of this. So what are some signs? What other signs? So I'm actually in Swindon at the moment. So I've been looking at Salisbury and Hereford, and you get some signs of their faces being smashed in, their heads, their hands have been removed, where the statues have been removed as well. But also there are some stained glass windows that did survive, particularly this window here. This is medieval glass, so we know that survived. And my particular favourite, I've been hunting for this, and it's a little cat that was graffitied in the cloisters of the Salisbury Cathedral by an Anglo-Dutch prisoner. So we know the cloisters were housed prisoners during that time period. So in conclusion, so case studies, from these two case studies in Peterborough and signs of iconoclasm, it appears that each cathedral is completely different and demonstrate that iconoclasm occurred during this time period, whether it was personal, as seen with Durham and Salisbury, or deliberate in Peterborough. While the study of iconoclasm in cathedrals will offer an insight and potential insight into the historical and the political and religious world of the 17th century. And this is my bibliography. Thank you for listening.